Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Welcome back to Backfire Simsport TV, and welcome back to Season 9. Yes, I did say that right. Season 9 of the BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge. Tonight brought to you live from a foggy and sunny Japan. And the course, that is Twin Ring Motegi, it's easy for some to say. And tonight we are using the East course. In the booth with me tonight, back for a second season of torture, it is the one and only Sir Alan Toon. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, Sam, and good evening, all our merry followers in Simland.
Back on your cameras tonight after some internet issues. We think he didn't pay the bill. It's Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
So, Alan, Season 9.
Yes.
That means we've been running this league for over 2 years, and I must say, and I know you've watched a lot of them, as well as commentating last season, it's been 2 years of absolutely fantastic racing.
It has. And I'm looking forward to more of the same in this season. There's no reason why not. We've had incredibly high standard of racing for years now. It's years. And people come and go.
Literally.
But yeah, literally years. And as you say, I've watched an awful lot of these races. I have. I'm a fan first, and I've enjoyed many hours of pleasure with in your company outside of the box, and it's great to be in here. And well, I'm a bit excited about this lot because there's going to be people in different cars. We've got all kinds of new stuff to look forward to, and yeah, roll on.
Yeah, so let's go over the changes for the viewers. So a little bit of confusion, well, not confusion, but iRacing went in a different direction with the GT4s and the TCRs, and have basically turned it into an endurance series. Please forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't tend to keep up with all of these things. But we thought that, you know, the racing that we've had has been so good, we're going to keep it going in its original format. The only real differences for this season, we've got a new car in the GT4 class with the new Mercedes. And we've also thrown in a couple of endurance rounds in this season with a couple of 90-minute races, just to see how we get on with that, how the drivers get on, and hopefully look to expand on that in the future. Apart from that, most things stay the same. Not a lot of changes in the rules to note. One other change that I suppose we could talk about, which has just totally gone out of my head, so I'll think about it later. Driver-wise, last season's TCR champion has switched over to GT4. So in this series, we like the GT4 winner to wear the number 1 the following season, and the TCR winner to run the 01 number. You will see both of those numbers in the GT4 class this season. The other thing to note that has just come back to me, because I'm very old, obviously not as old as Alan, but getting there, is the schedule. So normally we run the official iRacing schedule. However, this season, as I said, because they've turned it into a bit of an endurance series, it's only running once a fortnight. So we've been a bit clever. We have matched the official series for 6 of our 12 rounds. For 3 of our 12 rounds, we have matched the GT4 official series. And then we've given a track choice to our TCR champion, our GT4 champion, and our driver of the season champion. And what I can tell you tonight is this track, Twin Ring Motegi East. Notice I have to say that very slowly, otherwise I get my teeth all muddled up. I can tell you was the choice of our GT4 champion and also our driver of the season, which was Simon Trendle. So, anybody doesn't like this track, it's all Simon's fault. If you love this track, obviously we picked it and it's absolutely brilliant. What do you think to this track, Alan?
Oh, wow, interesting. Of course, I've got a long history with this. It's well used in Gran Turismo. It is, and so not quite as good as this version, but I think nearly everybody knows the track well, even the East version. Now, I've been out and done some laps. I went and go and did some laps in the Aston, in the Porsche. So the Porsche was more fun, but harder work. But I couldn't split the times on them. I was 1.5 minutes on both of them. And I had fun in the TCRs. Absolutely great going around here in the TCR. And the Velociraptor ate the Civic alive, I've got to tell you. Even with my driving, there was a 1.5 second difference in the times. So, yeah, I don't know about the Civic.
So, yeah, that is very interesting. So we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, there's been lots of talk. See, lots of Hyundai Elantras on the track because apparently that is the weapon of choice for this season. We'll wait and see what happens later on in the season. Now, normally at this point of the show, I can give you lots of facts and figures about what is going on in the series. But it's round one, so I haven't got a lot for you. I can tell you the track is in Motegi in Japan. I can tell you it's 2.112 miles long. We've never raced here in this series. Last time out, which was the end of season 8, GT4 was won by Simon Trendle at Imola, with Wobbly Kneecap second, Stefan Goebel third, and Sam Blees won the TCR race with Stephen Walker second and Shane Powell in third. Now, one thing that is missing tonight, we have a little championship called the head-to-head. Now, this is where drivers compete in a group stage, usually in the first 6 rounds of the season, and then it goes to knockout stages with drivers up against each other, one-on-one, to see who scores the most points in each round. Now, we would normally do the draw for this tonight at round 1, but it was a last-minute change with the cameraman. We didn't think Sam was going to be here. Pete was going to do the cameras, but Pete is also doing the paint packs for this series, learning lots of new tricks. So the idea was to do the head-to-head draw next week when Sam was supposed to be back, but he's back this week. So the drivers tonight don't actually know who they're racing against in the head-to-head groups, but they will find out. We will be on air early next week and we will do the very fun head-to-head draw. Right, Alan, We've still got over 5 minutes of qualifying. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to put us all on the spot, to be honest. This season, TCR, Stephen Walker isn't in it. He's in GT4. Where do you think the overall winner is going to come from? And you can't pick everybody.
Oh, crikey. So you want me to pick my pick for the season?
Yeah, who will we be crowning champion at the end of the season in TCR?
Crikey. Well, I've got if wishes were wishes. Can I think about this for a minute?
You certainly can. I'll tell you what, I'll go with my picks first, then
Yeah,
I'll
you
ask
go, you
Sam, and then we'll come back to you. That'll give you some time. So I am going to go with Spencer McCarthy for TCR. I think on pure pace, he is possibly the quickest TCR driver in the field, but he does have some rotten luck. Now, I think if Spencer can put a full season together, he is going to be there or thereabouts in the TCR Championship. In GT4, now, this is where it gets really, really difficult, I think. Purely because Simon Trendle, wobbly kneecaps, head and shoulders above the rest most of the time last season. Stephen Walker jumped ship. How long does it take him to get up to speed in GT4? And I would hazard a guess, not very long, because he's already in third. Dominic Sawicki has raced with us before, I believe in V8s. Sam might be able to put me right, but I think that's where I know that name from. He's a quick driver. Jamie Wilson, we know, has got wins in him. Stefan Goebel, we know, has got wins in him. I'm going to go purely on the fact that Simon won it last season with wobbly kneecaps. Sam, what do you think?
That's a tough choice. I think at least for the GT4, as you said, because there's new drivers, and it was already close between Simon and the club. So I will go with the lucky guy, because he's got luck, and as you said, he's already up to speed. He's already in third, so it's gonna be my pick for GT4. Sadly,
So
we lost
Stephen Walker.
Yeah, well, yeah, lucky guy. Who else? The sad thing for the TCRs is that they have a few driver less, and how things shape right now, I would say it's gonna be between Sam and Spencer. I think it will require one or at least one more seasons to Matt, Elmore, and Russell to get there and be able to compete with the geodesic guy. So I will go with Spencer just because he's on pole, but yeah, I don't know, could be Sam as well.
Okay, Alan, you've had your thinking time.
Yeah, so yeah, well, you know, I was waiting to see who was going to go for the top two. So that leaves me with Sam, so that's good, isn't it? And yes, and I was going to go for Stephen as well. But that's a cunning choice, but he's already gone. So yes, but that leaves me with Wobbly, doesn't it? Can I have Wobbly?
I picked Wobbly. You can
Did
have
you?
Simon Trendle.
Oh, well, that's going in my head, because I think Simon's, you know, very likely to win this. He is. Do I go with my heart, though? Shall I go with one of the underdogs? How about, I'm going to go with Rob Venn.
Okay, that's not a bad call. I know I didn't call Rob out when I went through, but Rob either has a very good season or a very bad season. And I think he's due another good season. So yeah, I think I don't think anybody would argue with any of those choices from any of us. So we're coming towards the end of this qualifying session. Currently, the track choice was by Simon Trendle, and he's on pole position in GT4. Stephen Walker's just popped himself up into second, managing to spilt. I can't even say things spelt wrongly. He's managed to split Simon Trendle and Wobbly Kneecaps, who is third. In TCR, Spencer McCarthy currently sits on pole position, with Sam Blees in second and Matt Elmore in third. Usual race format, folks, so it is a 60-minute race. There is a forced pit stop because the GT4s are limited to 50% of a fuel tank, and TCR is limited to 40%. So we'll be interesting to see how that works out. We've seen some absolutely weird and wonderful tactics in this series. We've had drivers short filling. We've had drivers trying undercuts, overcuts, pitting in the middle, you name it, we've had it, and ultimately everybody seems to end up on the same piece of tarmac. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have another fantastic season. And we are only a few minutes away from getting the first race underway. Looking forward to this, Alan. I think I've only ever driven this track in a V8. I've seen a number of people spearing off the track in practice and qualifying. So yeah, could be very, very interesting.
I don't find it a dangerous track. Like the thing about it is, it's a real lot straight to a corner, straight to a corner. It's all acceleration and brake. And there's a couple of loopy bits, and there's that interesting first section that is really the only tricky piece. And we don't know what the road conditions are like out there, but with this mist and everything, that's not going to help. So there's that first tricky bit. But if you can get your foot down and get your braking right, it's not a very dangerous place. There's plenty of room for manoeuvre. The guys are good drivers. I'm fascinated to see how this Mercedes goes. I've not seen the new Mercedes going at all, but it's people have jumped on it.
They tend to, don't they, with new cars. I do remember a race round here many moons ago. We did a Radical race round here, and I painted my Radical totally black. The headlights are rubbish. There's no lights on the track, and I stealthed my way into third position. So great tactics from me. Right, let's bring you your official starting grid for the first round of Season 9. Simon Trendle for Team Chimera takes away pole position in GT4. Wobbly Kneecaps with a last gasp effort gets himself up to second for BSTV Esports Pink. And Dominic Sawicki gets himself up to third, Fiercely Forward. Stephen Walker gets relegated to fourth with Jamie Wilson fifth. Stefan Goebel in 6th, Rob Venn in 7th, Arnaud Chenonnier in 8th, Ollie Ricks in 9th, Roger Morton in 10th, and Kylie Haddington rounds out your 11-car GT4 field. Into TCRs, Spencer McCarthy for Alpine Stars Geodesic White takes pole position. Sam Blees for Alpine Stars Geodesic Black or Red or Green or whatever colour it is this time. I think it might be black. Is in second. Matt Elmore with a great qualifying for Spectre 6 TCR in third. Carl Hardy gets home in Matt Flannery fifth. Russell Cowell in 6th, Martin Brennan in 7th, and David Ayres rounds out your 8-car TCR field. Everybody's lined up. Everybody is on track. Interesting to see Wobbly back in the venerable BMW bus, Alan.
Oh, is he really? Oh, yes. Goodness me. Well spotted. Oh, interesting.
It will be very interesting to see how that goes. It was a bit of a dog. I know the Team Chimera boys have run it in the past. Got zero love last season. But I know Wobbly took it out for a few laps the other evening and said, do you know what? This ain't too bad. So that's going to be interesting.
Yes. Yeah, well, Wobbly's no mug. He wouldn't have taken it if he didn't think it stood a chance, you know. It's a long season to suffer in if you get it wrong.
Yeah, don't forget these drivers are locked into their cars until the break between rounds 6 and 7. They lose a hell of a lot of championship points, 200 in fact, if they switch cars before then. Okay, TCR's giving the GT4s a healthy gap. Drivers currently sizing up the competition for the rest of the season. Will Kylie Haddington carry on with his lap 1 spins? Will Wobbly Kneecaps crash and rage quit?
Simon do one of these sparkling starts here. Gap everybody.
Yeah, like you say, there are a couple of straights, aren't there? They're away. Simon immediately covering off Wobbly. Dominic Sawicki's gone with them.
Wobbly's got a good flying.
Wobbly's
Goodness.
thrown it down the inside there. Tight team. Oh, Martin Brennan. He's not even crossed the line. We'll have to go back and see what happened there at some point. Yeah, Team Chimera boys have switched to the Porsche from the Aston Martin.
Oh, that Porsche was a lot of fun driving around here the other day. It was. In fact, it was yesterday. I went and did some laps yesterday evening. And yeah, the Porsche was a lot of fun.
Breakaway at... oh no, sorry, I'm looking at something totally different. Ignore me. I thought the front 3 had broken away. But they haven't. Front 2 have got a little bit of a gap.
Who have we got in the Aston then?
That will be... Is that Ollie Ricks in the Aston?
Yes,
Right,
and Roger. Ollie and Roger in the Aston.
Martin. He's on the very outside there. Oh, and that's Matt Flannery as well, isn't it?
Oh, that looks a bit hurt, that car.
Yeah, it looked like Martin was running out of track and tried to get back on, and there was just a car there. You know what? She comes around here, and there's like,
That looked peculiar, didn't it? That looked peculiar to me. Wow. Well, hopefully that's not going to be out too long here.
I thought we saw Martin pointing in the wrong direction. Was there some afters to that, maybe? I would hope not.
I hope not.
I tell you what, I've got iRacing running. I'll have a little rewind and see what happened to Martin. There was something peculiar. Or was it even Martin? I don't know. Let's have a look. He's going really quickly backwards at the moment. Right, let's see what happens here on my replay. That's the first contact. Martin brakes, waits, and then goes again. What's going on? No, can't see anything. Strange.
Well, Wobbly's making a convincing case for the BMW at the moment, that's for sure. It's going in front. Whether he can actually keep it there, we'll have to see.
Yeah, so those top 2 have broken away by about a second over Dominic Sawicki. Do apologise to Dom if that is a total mispronunciation of his name. But I am a professional mispronouncer of names.
Indeed.
It's what I do. Spencer McCarthy's got almost a second over Sam Blease. Lap times coming down in GT4. So Simon Trendle crossed the line with the fastest lap. Dominic Sawicki crossed the line behind him, took the fastest lap away. Spencer McCarthy sets the fastest lap in TCR. A 1:26.882.
It's a good lap.
Yeah, obviously we've got nothing to go on this track because we've never been here before.
He's doing a good job here, hanging on to Russell.
What is our all-time fastest lap around this track? Our fastest ever lap round here was a 1:19.5 in a V8.
Wow. That's travelling. That's very quick.
And I have had cake delivered.
They're not spreading out very much, are they? They're keeping together quite nicely, I think. It says a lot because this is about the pace of the cars. It's so much straight. People aren't. Oh, Jason. Oh, another new Mercedes devotee, and it goes around just the same as the others.
Yeah, looks like that Mercedes has also got rear wheel steering.
Well, we like consistency in drivers, don't we?
Exactly. And that's what people tune in for. Right, Simon Trendle
He's getting tasted at the front. I think he's got the pace, and that Porsche was very nimble around here.
This is bringing that chasing pack back.
Stevens dropping a little bit. But considering it's his first racing a completely different species of car, I think he's doing rather well.
Yep, it's a new challenge.
I don't think there's an awful lot in the performance of these cars, you know. Seems to me that it's all going to be in the hands of the drivers.
Which is usually, to be honest, Alan, my argument when people go on about balance of power and things like that.
Yeah, I think you're right, Clyde.
There are a number of drivers in this series that you could put in any car and they'd be at the top of the field.
Yeah. Some of them are famous for it.
Exactly.
I'm delighted to see my friend Roger in the field, partnering Ollie.
Yeah, nice to see Roger back in the series. Roger usually signs up, then races once, and then we don't see him again.
Oh, it's his autocross, Clyde. His autocross. It's an autocross life. He's in the Nationals, you know. He's qualified for the Nationals this year for the first time. We're very proud of him. Really, we are. Fantastic achievement for a bloke working out of his shed.
I have to go and watch him at some point because I've never actually watched that format of racing.
Oh, you'd have a good time. If you like a nice muddy field, you'll be made up. And he'll make you a nice cup of tea as well.
There you go. Cup of tea and a bit of cake. So that battle at the front has really closed them up, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Well, you know, I think Wobbly's really having to defend quite hard.
Spencer McCarthy continues to eke out a tenth here and there over Sam Blease. Oh,
Rog. Get it out system now, Roger, my dear. So we've got a bit more splitting up in the TCRs, haven't we? They're a bit more spaced out.
Oh, a bit of dirt on the exit.
Oh, that was so unfortunate, but his car's fine, look. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's promoted Roger to 11th, also known as last.
Well, he likes to challenge us, Roger. He's a fierce competitor, and he'll have his head down and shoulders the grindstone, can assure you that.
So,
Martin,
when did Matt Elmore get past Sam Blease?
Didn't see it.
No. That we're about to. Looks like a slowdown to me.
Easily done, I'm afraid, on this track. There's a couple of sneaky ones as you go around the cone section.
Where do we think? Can't be there. There.
It's,
that's what it looked like to me.
It doesn't take very much.
Yeah.
Come on, Carl.
I was just about to say, who was that throwing it in like a rocket ship there? Who else could it have been?
Oh, we've got Carl and David locked together.
Exactly. The battle for honours at work in the morning.
Seven cars in the line. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Less than a second at the top end of the GT4.
What a drive by these guys. There's no room for an error. He's dropped his place and you're after the toe and you're in for a hard time to get back.
That makes me wonder if Simon Trendle has gone tactical already. Is he sitting behind Wobbly, saving some fuel?
I think it's a racing certainty. He's very, very good at it, is Simon, and I think he could be troubling Wobbly a lot more than he is, if he chose to.
And if memory serves from when the BMW was more popular, I think it was a thirsty beast anyway.
The most aerodynamic thing in the world either. But he's doing well. He's doing good lap times, and you know, if people would get by him, if they got the pace, they most certainly would have. So he's holding his place and making them work for it.
Well, that, I believe, is Kylie Haddington on the back of this TCR battle. TCR battle between Sam Blease and Matt Elmore. I think Matt may have just given this up. Yeah.
Mr.
Good to see
McCarthy's
Matt.
well away.
Yeah, good to see Matt doing second season on the trot. Somebody that's definitely improving in the car.
Certainly doing very well tonight. good to see, like you say. I seem to remember him having a bit of bad luck previously in races gone by. Perhaps it's this season.
Jago Racing has just subscribed to us. Welcome. If you like what you're seeing, why don't you come and join us? Anybody wondering where Princess Pete is? Gary Craig has decided not to run this season, and because Pete can't think for himself, that rules Pete out as well. And I think the paint packs are making his brain explode.
Well, she'll certainly miss him on the track because, very entertaining driver. Is our Pete. And Gary as well. And, Gary's going to be a miss for me.
Oh, that's Lucky Walker. Not got his lucky
Not
pants on
lucky.
tonight.
Slowly slipping back, Stephen, which is surprising me because...
Yeah, he was in this gaggle of cars. What has... Oh, I think he's just
got his side.
I think he's just rubbed maybe the back of Dominic's car.
Yeah, I think he just got a slight touch. Just hardly anything.
We'll probably see it better from this angle. Just looked like a rub there.
Yeah, look at that. Well, I think it was maybe spinning anyway.
Yeah, maybe hit the brakes a bit harder than he wanted to, rather than hitting.
Maybe
Dominic.
He touched because he was using his back end slightly, I think.
Yeah, that split him up a bit though.
Well, at the moment, Sam's having an easy ride at this.
So Sam Blees, once he got past Matt Elmore, has now pulled out a second on him. Unfortunately for Sam, being stuck behind Matt, that's given Spencer a 5-second lead in TCR.
Keep an eye on that though, 5 seconds. It'd be interesting to see if...
that's something we haven't seen for a long time, Alan.
No, but it's generally very tight. And well, it's a new season, and we've had a bit of shuffling up to the GT. So, it's allowed us a reshuffle in the TCRs. Really impossible to predict what's going to happen.
Well,
the guys who were running 6 chassis are going to be running 4th. They're close, causing spitting distance now.
Yeah, Ollie Ricks is giving it to Stephen Walker at the moment.
Ollie's a good driver. I think I'm expecting for him to do rather better in the GTs than he did in the TCRs. I know he's more comfortable in the car.
Carl Hardy's giving it everything he can to get past Russell Cowley. So late on the brakes.
Well, it's a familiar triumvirate there, isn't it? Those three. I don't know how much time my captain Carl has spent trying to get past Russell. It's quite a lot.
Well, if he doesn't do it soon, he's going to have David Ayres back with him.
Indeed. David will be delighted to have a nibble of his pie.
Coming up on 19 minutes gone. It's usually around this time that especially for the TCRs, the pit window opens. Not that we always see TCRs pitting early. Sometimes we do, if somebody wants to do something different.
There's a lot of times in the GTs are incredibly close.
Yeah, there's not a great deal in it, is there?
No, there really isn't. There's not a lot of room for error out there, that's for sure. Time is fuel saving, for sure.
Yeah, he's not really challenging Wobbly at all, is he?
No, we know he could push a lot more than this.
And those two have got a bit more competition in this class this season, with Dominic and also Lucky Pants. So, you know, we did see some shenanigans last season where, you know, they was pretty much going backwards, both trying to save fuel over each other.
Ooh,
David Ayres in the background there nearly went for a Burton.
great save there by David. That car was trying to get away from him. Experienced hands on the rudder. Well done. Come on, Carl, get a run. This is tight, isn't it? Look, these two have been at it for, I don't know, a very long time.
Yeah, Carl's driving well, isn't he? Which tends to lend its hand to the track being bereft of food outlets.
Minimal distractions on the job tonight. How's Stefan going? Come on, Stefan. 6. Oh, that's good. That's good. 5. All that time, and they've only dropped 5 seconds. That's amazing. This is good driving by everybody. But I don't see where the passing's going to come from. It looks to me like they've spaced out and they've got their pace and they're a bit stuck in it.
Yeah, it's a bit settled at the moment, isn't it? I was just having a quick look at this season's schedule. 2 brand new tracks to iRacing make their debuts in this series this season. Round 3 sees us go to the fantastic Sandown Raceway in Australia. And round 11 sees us go back in Japan for the Fuji Raceway. Absolutely beautiful circuit, and you know, with Mount Fuji in the background. So some very interesting races this season. Not just this one, like a track that we've never been to before. Sandown, new track. We're back at Belle Isle, that tricky little bugger. Lime Rock as well, that's an action-packed track. And then Winton. So 3 really tricky small tracks on the trot. Then we stretch our legs a bit with Road America, Brands Hatch and Road Atlanta. Then to the brand new Fuji. And then finishing the season off at Virginia International Raceway. So, cracking schedule for this season, Alan.
Yeah, I'm liking that. That sounds great, isn't it? And all this new, you know, even the ones that there's some, you know, tracks that have only just recently come into the service, and it's going to be interesting because there's quite a lot of new mileage in that, isn't there? There's, I haven't been to Sandown. I haven't. I mean, we've done a lot. Fuji's fantastic track. That's going to be absolutely suit these cars down to the ground. They're going to have a fantastic time there. Winter. I mean, that's tight. It's going to, and
hard,
you know,
track, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it's no time off.
No time off. No room for error.
So yes, they've got the work cut out, and they're not over familiar tracks. So we've got something. A challenge because we don't know what's going to happen either.
Exactly, yes. Round 4 on July the 6th at Mosport is the first of our 90-minute endurance races. Second one is on August the 3rd, round 8 at Road America.
Good choices.
Yeah, that's going to throw some more tactics into the bag. Drivers need an extra half an hour of concentration. Carl Hardy needs to go an extra half an hour without eating something. So that's going to be all fun and games.
It's getting gapped a little bit here. Come on, David. You know, it's the coffee bragging rights here, mate. This is important stuff. Mr. Cowell is so consistent. It's just, it's making it very hard for my car to get by him. And look at Mark. Great. He's doing very well, isn't he? I mean, you could almost say you'd expect Spencer and Sam to be at the front here, but Matt is doing a really sterling job as well. Great to see.
I just flicked onto a shot of Matt Flannery, and it looked like there was fuel peeing out the back of his car.
Oh. Well, I hope not.
Could you jump onto Matt Flannery? Yeah, no, it's just on my screen. It's still going. Oh no, there it is. I can see it. There, look.
What's that? Is it his tyre falling off?
I don't know. I've never seen it before. It just appeared on my screen, and when you look at it from another angle, it looks like fluid.
Yes.
That's so weird.
Oh well. Mass hallucination. Ignore it. Don't want any mechanical troubles, thank you very much. Wobbly and Simon still 125s. It's 125s, you know, there's still Stefan's 125, Robbie's 125s. There's nothing splitting these guys, just the relentless reliability of they're really victims of their own class, because they're all doing these fantastic laps. They are, and they're different.
Batteries in the pits.
Right, maybe he's looking to change something up.
Well, he's taking his fast repair. I can see that. But yeah, these top two, they are slowly eking away from Dominic at the moment. I think whatever toe there is at this track, he may be just out of it. Although he may have a chance to catch up now, because these guys are catching some of the TCRs.
Well, that would be helpful for him, that's for sure. Especially if they're coming on the this beginning section where there's curly bits. There's a bit of curl there. You need to be quick on the wheel, because there's some fancy steering wheel to be done around here.
So 27 minutes in, nobody has really blinked yet with the pit stop.
Look at those times. It's not intense in between them. It's amazing driving, but because they're so consistent, they can do that lap after lap after lap.
And that's what makes the series so tough, Alan, isn't it? Because of the standard of driving.
It's certainly hard to get past people who can do that consistent pace and relentless. You know, they don't give you a slowdown or any kind of a help. And yeah, it's very hard racing.
So evening to Anthony Jacobson. He says, evening chaps. Carl's got too much weight on board to get past. Not going to argue with that. And we've got a hi everyone from Summer Farm Estates.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
I have no idea who Summer Farm Estates is, but it sounds wonderful.
It certainly does. Good evening, Anthony, my friend. Carl's doing very well tonight, running fourth.
Yeah, well, you know, every time you say that, he crashes.
I know. I live in faith.
Summer Farm Estates, somebody that you know very well, Mr. Toon.
Oh, really?
The owner.
Oh, Fee. Hello, Fee. Summer Farm Estates, and that sounds grand.
No, Fiona is someone that I would like to see in this series.
Ah, yeah, there you go.
I've watched a few. I'm not going to mention other broadcasters because Sam will shout at me. But I've watched a few races that Fiona's been in, and he's quite some driver.
She did well in the Indy, you know. I went and spotted in the Indy. She's got an ornament to any series, as far as I'm concerned. As long as she's not beating me.
What? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was looking at the stream, so I did miss that. But that's Jamie Wilson has dropped down because he's been in the pits.
Well, I would be expecting half an hour.
Yeah. Again, you know, Matt Flannery is very, very wide at some point on the track. Yes. Jamie Wilson, very tactically astute. Trying something different to the rest, which I always praise. Fiona says she may join next season, so we look forward to that. Let me get myself on the battle up front. There it is, just so I can see if any of these guys blink and pit. Oh, spin me right round, baby, right round.
Oh,
like a Haddington baby. Right round, round and round. Oh, there's a wall there as well. Boom!
Oh, the car's all right. That was a bit of a hard one.
And not an inch of damage to the Merc.
Goodness me, is it a Panzer?
Built like a freight train.
Amazing. That looked like it took a real hard hit. Hits, so that doesn't surprise me.
Oh,
how did Roger get a lap down?
They must have pitted, I would have thought.
Oh, did he? Oh.
So a couple of battles, haven't we here? So Simon Trendle, I'm going to say, can't get past wobbly kneecaps, but I don't think he's trying that hard. I think he's fuel saving. Is Stefan trying to get past Rob, or is he trying to save a bit of fuel? We know from previous experience, and Stefan admits it, he can't fuel save. We've seen him throw away race wins because he can't fuel save. Is he trying it now, or is it just he can't get past?
Oh, interesting. Well,
Rob
we
Venn
do know that Stephen's a heck of a front runner.
Yeah, but Rob Venn is not an easy driver to pass. Rob knows he's very experienced. He's probably wise beyond his years. He knows exactly where to put his car.
Yes. I think that's the same for all these guys, isn't it? None of them are easy to pass. They're all incredibly good at holding the line.
Oh, so I don't know if I don't know what you can see of this, Sam. There was a little bit of shenanigans there with the front two in GT4, with a bit of pit fakery, which has ultimately seen Simon Trendle come in and wobbly kneecaps stay out. But there was a bit of crisscrossing going on. I didn't actually realise they were near the pit lane. There you go. Wobbly fakes it. Simon goes in. It's a weird pit entry.
It's a weird entry, isn't it?
That's the type of pit entry that Pete Bingham would get lost at.
I can just see myself burying it in the wall there. I nearly did. I was just practicing. So,
no, that little bit of shenanigans up the front there.
Oh, hello.
That's Stephen Walker again.
Having a few issues there.
But Dominic is now only 1 second behind Wobbly. Wobbly's in, Dominic's in. So they've both made it. Where are they going to come out in respect to Simon Trendle?
This is the question.
Oh, what's going on here? Stefan Goebel has got past Rob Venn. What happened to Rob Venn? Because he's got past him by a mile as well.
He got past in the pit entrance and then longer pit stop.
Excellent. Thank you, Sam.
Rob is probably the only one that hasn't got the pit entry.
Simon Trendle has taken the lead.
What's the gap?
Wobbly kneecaps. That was a very long stop. He's come out in third behind Dominic Sawicki. And like 10 seconds at the moment. Although we'll wait for that to correct itself.
I hope it does.
Has Wobbly done something wrong? Has he taken tyres where others haven't?
Sometimes it's a little bit slow, but
that's what it looks like. Wobbly's taken tyres. Dominic definitely isn't. I'm guessing Simon didn't.
That's it.
Interesting.
Yes, really throwing the dice, hasn't he?
Yeah. Let's see if Wobbly can start closing that gap, or did he do it out of necessity because the BMW bus was ploughing like a good one?
He's been in front of the time as well.
Simon Trendle. And yes, so first and second didn't take tyres. Third place man, Wobbly kneecaps, has.
Got a 10-second gap to try and find up. I'm not sure whether that was a good risk or not. We'll find out, won't we?
Yes. He's a long way back at the moment, actually in the clutches of Stefan Goebel.
And I think Simon had more pace in him at the first half of the race.
Yeah, he was definitely giving it to him, wasn't he? And then settled back and done some fuel saving.
It'll be interesting to see what Simon's lap times are.
Well, yeah, he's released now, isn't he? So we'll find his true pace now.
Mr. Wickie's doing very well. It's nice to see a new name right at the front here, isn't it? It's lovely.
Let's look at lap times. Yeah, so they was doing 24s in practice and qualifying. Not really got anywhere near that in the race. Simon Trendle did do a 1:24.9 on lap 9. That's his quickest lap so far. But let's see what he can do on this lap. Just about to pass the line. And he does a 25.8. So Dominic does a 26.4. What is Wobbly going to do? Wobbly does a 25.6.
No, all to play for, but it doesn't look like Wobbly's got a big pace advantage. Maybe as the tyres wear, Simon and Dominic will lose a bit of their edge and he can close the gap, but at the moment I think he's going to be struggling.
Well, he's definitely closing on Dominic.
Yes. Yeah, it's it was, what is it, 8 seconds now? And it was, yeah, quite a lot more than that, so... Simon's not being stalled, is he, by the traffic?
No, Simon, I'm watching Simon at the moment, and he has got a clear track in front of him. 25.8 last time round. He's about to cross the line and does a 26.3. So I think that is his pace.
Yes.
So
Sam Lee is in front of Spencer.
He is, isn't he? Yeah, by a long
Very long-
way as well.
Yep, very long pit stop for Spencer, 45 seconds. 22 for Sam, and
How does
36
Sam
for
do
Matt.
this?
That's got pit lane penalty written all over it.
No, I think looking at the time to put them on screen as well. The pit time. There you go. If you look, all of the TCRs got the same pit time. Sam is just way faster. I guess that's no tire for Sam and tires for all the other.
Right.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to watch that gap then. Again, see, does tyres make a difference?
It did have a little bit of a gap before, so it's probably not quite as dramatic as we think, as it appears at first sight. So, but yes, will the tyre wear get on top of them?
Well, the last time I looked,
to find out.
Spencer was 5 or 6 seconds in front of Sam.
Yeah. So, if some Spencer's took tyres, that's costing me extra time. Hopefully his lap times will come down and he can do something about the gap.
Wobbly's taking a second a lap out of Simon Trendle at the moment. There's 19 minutes to go.
Wow. This could come to a tense conclusion, you know.
If this carries on
very quickly,
he's not going to be far off at the end of this race.
no, he's certainly not. He's going to be on Simon's boot. Interesting. Perhaps the tyres have gone off really badly on the GTs.
Yeah, I'm just going to do the same comparison on the TCR. So I'm just looking at Sam Blees at the moment. He's about to cross the line. Let's look at his lap time. So he's no tyres with a 1:28.2. Now let's see what Spencer McCarthy can do with tyres.
He's tight.
27.4. So that's 8 tenths. We could have a couple of very, very interesting battles in the last couple of laps in this race.
Oh, it's panning out very interesting, isn't it? I'm looking at Matt and I'm looking at Carl, and it's not that much.
Yeah, well, Carl has got past Russell, hasn't he, in that pit stop?
It's not like Carl to pull off a snappy pit stop. I don't know what's going on with him. Was there? Did
told you, mate, no food.
No, shut the pie stall. Because it's not like Carl to do that. It's not as bad as me, I've got to say.
Wobbly is dragging Stefan round. And that gap to Dominic doesn't seem to be going down anymore.
No, it's still 8 seconds. It's been 8 seconds for the last 3. Which is a bit discouraging if you're a Wobbly fan.
So GT4 leader has just put a lap on Spencer McCarthy. So Spencer's going to get a little bit of a tow as well as his fresh boot advantage.
So it's 10 seconds now. Wasn't it 12 seconds before? So still making.
Yeah, Spencer is definitely closing. Going to be very interested in their lap times on this lap.
Oh, well, these cars are going to be absolutely riveted because they can see the gap coming down. They're going to be steaming, and this is they're well aware of where each other are on the track. They know exactly what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on, and it will be very intense in there as they try and hold their pace and not make any mistakes. Because you can't make a mistake when people are closing. And of course, you've got the tyres wearing out. The guys who didn't take tyres, it's getting on in the race. They'll have wear, especially in the TCRs in the front. We're asking for little incidents and stuff. So, crikey.
Spencer 7/10 quicker on that lap. Wobbly Kneecaps was at a very similar time to Dominic Sawicki, but he did have a little bit of TCR traffic.
Well, it's moved from 6th. He was on 6, wasn't he? So it was a 4-second gap. It was. No, a 5-second gap. It's not going right here. Mr. Sawicki's doing extremely well. Take my hats off to him in his first go at this.
Like I say, I said before, he's definitely no mug. I've seen him. I'm sure it was in the V8s.
If you can drive one of those, you can pretty much drive anything, I think.
Exactly. Yes. In fact, let's have a look at. I've got so many stats now.
That an island.
Has he ever? He's never had a win in V8s. See if he's had a podium. Yes. So he's had 3 podiums in V8s, and that isn't to be scoffed at.
No, that's not easy at all in that field. I've watched some of those races. Those guys are ridiculously quick. Tony, your friend Tony, goodness me, like grease lightning.
Fantastic guy, Tony Kloosterman. Been with us right from the start. Helped us out no end. Dragged lots of drivers into the series, and just continues to perform well week in, week out. But he has got some really stiff competition in that series. And that comes to a conclusion beginning of July. Wobbly a little bit
Wobbly's in trouble here,
there. Isn't he?
He's not gaining any time on Dominic here. Simon's doing mid-25s now, comfortably.
Yeah. Stefan is definitely with him.
That's the same time as Wobbly, and Simon didn't take time.
Stefan can see that third step on the podium. He's got about 12 minutes to do it. I don't think Spencer McCarthy is catching Sam Blease quick enough. He's just got it under 10 seconds. That's tight. That's Jamie Wilson trying to get past Rob Venn. They've got Stephen Walker in this battle at the back as well.
James got a new challenge in this car, of course. He's used to the Aston from last season. That Porsche is a world away from the Aston. Honestly, on this track as well, particularly. I drove them both, and the Aston was absolutely planted, but it wasn't moving around the track. It wasn't the fun to drive that the Porsche was. The Porsche was fun to drive, very lively. So he's working hard in there.
The Porsche has been a great car since it was released, to be honest. I know I did a season in it and absolutely loved it, even in the officials.
I think they did some good changes on it. You know, when it first came out, it was a bit twitchy. Back end used to go, and I think they over the next couple of seasons after it was released, they did some really good upgrades. They did to make it a better car, and they succeeded. Because I couldn't drive it. You know, when that first came out, I found it terribly difficult. And now it's a really nice car to drive. I enjoy driving it. So good on them. And I know it's really a lovely car to drive, that Porsche.
I did actually see a real one on the road last week or the week before. Looked absolutely awful.
Did it?
Yeah. There's obviously no rear wing on the road going version, so that took a bit away. Yeah, look out. So that was someone getting either out of the way or serving a slowdown. I think it was just maybe Roger getting out of the way.
Very courteous behaviour from our Roger. He's a gentleman on the track. He's a hard competitor, though. Yes.
So
yes,
we're
very
into
fair.
the last 10 minutes, Alan.
It's not what I expected, to be honest. Not closing down as quickly as I would have wanted to see, Clyde. I thought maybe the guys who hadn't taken the tyres would lose a bit of pace at the front and give the other guys who had taken tyres a bit of a chance of closing in, but it doesn't seem like that's happening. It looks to me like they're just somehow, even with worn out tyres, managing to maintain their pace.
Yeah, unless they do drop off a cliff with 5 minutes to go. I think as for podium places, there's definitely a battle on between Wobbly and Stefan. I think Carl is doing his best to chase down Matt Elmore for the third step on the TCR podium. But our winners look, barring mistakes or, like I said, tyres dropping off cliffs, look pretty done and dusted at the moment.
Certainly do. I'm sure Sam and Simon will be feeling very confident at the moment. And they've both got excellent pace and they're driving really sweet laps, so they're not under any pressure. The only person that can beat them is themselves at this point, and they're not likely to do that. Look at this Porsche.
Jamie Wilson is currently feeling the pain that Stefan Goebel felt for a while, isn't he?
He's in the Mercedes
unable to
sandwich.
pass. Oh, hello. Lucky Pants trying it round the outside.
Well, it's nice to see him having a go. He's obviously got a bit of confidence in the car and thinks he can actually try it, but I haven't tried this new Mercedes yet. I haven't given it a drive, and I will do, though. I will do next week because I'm curious.
You must be spending either all of your pension or all of your heating allowance on iRacing at the moment, Alan, with all this new content.
Pretty much. Well, when I'm not doing that, I'm spending it on gear, Clyde.
There you go. Oh, yeah. So you just spent about £14 million on a new wheel. I saw that as well.
Yes, and a Simcube wheelbase, Clyde.
Well, there you go.
Yes, top quality kits, and all very exciting. And
So
I'm looking forward to using
wheel, racing rig, VR.
I know it's going to be. Well, I'm an immersion lover, and it's racing in VR with the direct drive wheel is going to be pretty much nirvana for me. I can't wait.
I need to work my way into your will somehow.
I've got 5 children and 11 grandchildren.
It's all right, I'll fight them all. Jamie
no!
Wilson.
Oh, avoid the wall.
Ooh.
Oh,
now that's the second time I like that. That's the second time we've seen the rear car spin after making contact with the front car. It's normally the car in front that disappears off into the hedgerow.
Ah, yes. No. Oh. Oh, he was lucky, wasn't he? That could have been in the old go.
Rob Venn just, the good old tactic. There's nothing wrong with it. Park it on the apex.
Well, it's classic, and why not?
Exactly. So we're creeping up onto the last 5 minutes. Still looks like those guys on old tyres are doing decent lap times.
I wonder what Wobbly's thinking about the BMW at this moment.
Yeah.
He's holding Stefanoff, and he's been holding Stefanoff longer than I thought he'd be able to be honest. I thought
You can't
Stefanoff might
pass
have-
that BMW, mate. It's too wide.
Well, yes, and he's a master at making it, putting it in the widest place possible. But yeah, I know that the Porsche is pretty agile around here, so I don't think he's done yet. I won't be surprised if we don't see him making a challenge before the end.
Yeah, Fiona on the chat says, but maybe Jamie locked the rears, trying not to spin Bob in front. Good call. I know Jamie isn't a dirty driver.
No, there aren't any.
He's very upset with himself when he does make a mistake that affects somebody else's race, unless it's Simon, obviously. There is no guilt or shame when it's against a teammate.
Well,
that is written in the book of Cyril.
I'm a big fan of Jamie. I want to see him do well. I don't like to see him down in 7th. But it's got a different car. It's a different challenge. It is considerably different. That Porsche is a world away from the Aston.
Yeah, really nice guy, Jamie. Does a lot for many of our series. Crap driver, obviously, but you can't have it all. Rob Venn parking his car on the apex again. Stephen Walker nearly had a piece of his rear end.
Well, they're running neck and neck, aren't they? Crikey.
Pete Bingham is blaming Jamie Wilson's spin on Lucky Pants. Because he thinks he saw a slight nudge from Lucky. Pete isn't driving, Pete isn't commentating, therefore Pete will be drunk, so how he can see anything, I've got no idea. Let's have a look.
What's happening?
Let's have a look.
We switch on.
This is the one, I think.
Oh.
So, yeah. Pete saw a nudge from Lucky, even though he was like 20 foot away.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid it, but he got his braking slightly wrong.
Okay, 2 minutes. Carl Hardy is almost on Matt Elmore. I think he might run out of time. Stefan Goebel can't find a way past that big old BMW. Even Walker can't find a way past Rob Venn at the moment. I think we are going to get one more lap after this one.
This is a comfortable victory for Simon tonight. He's going to be feeling very happy with this. Sam is going to be absolutely thrilled, I would say.
Yeah, I think Spencer's going to be gutted that he took tyres. It'd be interesting. Obviously, Spencer does normally come in for an interview. It'd be interesting to know whether he took them on purpose or whether that was a switchology error. switch pigs, we used to call it in the Air Force. Oh, he's still going, still having a go. The next one's a right though. Thought about throwing it down the inside, thought better of it.
Gave it a thought.
Oh, and look who's back in the show. Jamie
These
Wilson
two.
not giving up yet.
Come on, Mr. Hardy. Not I've got anything against our map because he's lovely.
These two are not going to make another lap. This, oh yes they are, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the leader? Where's the leader? There's the leader. Leader will be taking the checker this time round. Jamie Wilson gets past Stephen Walker. Stefan Goma. Oh, and gentlemen as ever. And always nice to see that.
Slightly overcooked it.
Simon Trendle. Oh, he's finished. Do you know what? I thought he was out of fuel then.
Oh, crikey, you wouldn't see that. I don't think. You see Simon running out of fuel. Very unlikely.
So Wobbly Kneecaps did manage to hang on to third.
Good podium. And
Carl Hardy's
picture with
last chance.
Spencer.
Last chance.
Oh, no, he's not going to take that.
Pushing
Matt's
over
got
the
it.
line.
It's a great drive by Matt.
Elmore.
And gutsy drive by the pair of them. Good finish by David as well. Paul Martin and Mr. Flannery. Where are they? Got all. Everybody's in. Everybody's in.
Everybody's home. Safe and sound. Okay, so let's bring you your official finishing positions. So in GT4, comfortable win in the end for Simon Trendle, racing for Team Chimera. Cracking debut in the series. Second place, Dominic Sawicki for Fiercely Forwards. And third place, we see right at the end, hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Wobbly Kneecaps takes the third step on the podium for BSTV Esports Pink. Stefan Goebel comes home fourth for BTS Esports. Rob Venn comes home fifth, BSTV Esports Pink. Jamie Wilson in sixth for Team Chimera. Stephen Walker in seventh for Spectre 6. Arnaud Chenonnier in eighth, RWC Racing Red. Ollie Ricks in ninth for Result Clothing. Roger Morton comes home 10th for Workguard by Result. And in 11th we have Jason Haddington for RWC Racing Blue. Just had a little chuckle at the chat. Peter said Stefan almost got £5 reward there for almost taking out Wobbly. Into your TCR result. Again, fantastic tactical win by Sam Blees for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black. Second place, Spencer McCarthy, Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing White. Third place was Matt Elmore for Spectre 6 TCR. Carl Hardy comes home fourth for Safeguard by Result. Fifth place was Russell Cowell for Spectre 6 TCR. David Ayres in sixth for Result Clothing iRacing Team. Matt Flannery comes home seventh for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black. And Martin Brennan comes home eighth for Safeguard by Result. Okay, so Alan, what did you make of that?
Well, very interesting as it happens with the drivers changes around. Didn't quite know what was going to happen at the front, but it was the It was the old crowd with the addition of Dominic, which was nice to see. A bit of fresh blood at the front there, but really great drive by Simon. And Wobbly was doing very well, I think. I think he drove hard in the Beamer. He had to work hard for that.
Yeah, not one.
In the front, well, you know, a great. I think you got it right. He did it in the pits again, didn't he? How does he do it?
Yeah, you wouldn't put that down as a series classic of a race, but it still had that. There was drivers trying different things, which ultimately didn't come off. You know, the new tyres over the old tyres just didn't work. But you know, it's the first race of the season. There's 11 more to come. So let's get these interviews
very close as well. All the times were close.
Amazing. I'm going to start with our TCR winner, Sam Blees. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Hello. So, no tyres for you.
I did take one tyre.
You took one?
Yeah, a right rear.
I didn't even know you could take one.
Yeah, so we figured out what was happening is if you cut the pit entry, iRacing thinks you've left the pit lane, and it resets to set all your tyres on. When you do that, when you turn hard right as you come into the pit lane.
Yeah.
So everyone did that, and everyone complained, and then we were discussing it in voice chat. So when I went in, it happened to me, but I was able to turn off 3 of them, and not the 4th one by the time I had to stop.
Goodness me.
Interesting.
So I had a much quicker stop because I only took a right rear, whereas everyone else took 4. Or 3. Some people took 3.
Right. So that explains it. So, Spencer, teammate, stablemate, seemed to have the pace on you. However, maybe the lucky pants have changed bottoms.
That's a lovely analogy.
That is, isn't it? It just came into my head and I had to share it.
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you, I think. It was definitely lucky. You're absolutely right. Spencer had a good 10th or 2 on me, so he should have walked this, and he was walking it until everyone's pit stops went awkwardly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a bit of luck. Although actually, I think he's still going to lead the championship because he got pole and fastest lap. So I think he will be top of the championship anyway, even coming second.
Okay, and have you raced this format of Motegi before?
I think so, but not for years and years. I quite like it. I don't think I'm widely supported in that view, but I quite enjoy the track. I quite like Motegi generally. So yeah, it was a nice track. It was a bit of a lonely race for me because I was either 10 seconds behind or 10 seconds in front of people after the first sort of 10 minutes. But yeah, can't complain with a win.
No, that's right. Yeah, you noticed what was going on and tried to put it right. So, one race into a 12-race season, we see both you and Spencer have your fair share of bad luck last season. Hopefully, it's certainly looking like Lady Luck is going to smile on you, at least for a little while. It's an interesting battle, isn't it, with you and Spencer, because you're very... I think you've got totally different driving styles, but ultimately you're very, very close on lap times, and you seem to beat him at some tracks and he beats you at some tracks, and we know Stephen Walker has jumped ship to GT4. I'm going to keep a very close eye on that battle between you two this season, because I think that's going to be nip and tuck all the way.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We do drive very differently, but we do end up almost exactly the same pace everywhere. There's a 10th or 2 in it, probably more often in his favour than mine, but it's never more than that usually. So yeah, it should be good fun. It should be a good battle. a bit like the season before last, hopefully, where it was,
Yeah.
it was 1 and 2 and fighting every race into the final one. So yeah.
Well, it bodes well for the rest of the season. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just thank you to everybody for trialling out the pit lane for me and giving me enough time to figure it out. As always, thanks to you guys for hosting and putting on the broadcast. I look forward to watching that back tomorrow. And everyone for coming out, making it a good, clean, fair race, if a little bit lonely for me today.
Well, you know, some say the lonely ones are the best ones, mate, because it means you've got no dramas. But congratulations on the opening maiden win of the season. Good luck with those hand-me-down lucky pants. I hope there was a washing machine involved in between the handover. And
Industrial sterilisation, I think, was required.
What, at Chernobyl?
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you next time out.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good night.
Okay, so we haven't got our GT4 winner, but I am going to bring in somebody who we haven't seen for a while, since V8 days. Dominic Swicky, welcome to the booth.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not bad. Great to see you back, mate. And how did you find your debut in the series?
Yeah, it was the best debut I can imagine, pretty much, because the pace wasn't great, especially at the end. In the beginning, I was following the guys in front who were battling. But yeah, in a way, pretty good for especially first race in this car. Still a lot to learn in terms of setup and also driving, but it was a good day.
Well, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on you this season because I know you are a talented driver from your time in the V8s with us. So I'm looking forward to... it was a bit of a wobbly kneecaps and the Simon Trendle show last season, but I think you are definitely somebody that can get in amongst them two, split them up, take some wins off them. So that's going to be very good. What have you been driving recently? Have you been doing much in the GT4s, or have you been in a totally different format?
Actually, yes. Last season I was doing some races with Aston Martin and really liked the new GT4 cars. I think it's something good between like the slower cars like Mazda and stuff and faster GTs. Recently, mostly I've been doing rallies, actually, Richard Benz Rally and also the newest WRC. But now I'm finally back to racing. Yeah, I was really enjoying it, and I hope, like you said, I can match the fastest drivers here in the future this season.
I'm pretty sure it won't take you very, very long. Although, you know, there is some fantastic talent in this series. They do take a lot of beating, but I'm pretty sure that you can get in there. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Fiercely Forward, the great team I was represent with the lovely yellow AMG. Also, shout out to GTL VRT and Sequential Simsports, the other two teams I've been involved with. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for the broadcast, and see you next week.
Yeah, well, thanks ever so much for joining us in the booth. Congratulations on your second place, Dominic Swicky.
Thanks, take care.
Way.
Lovely guy.
What a nice man. What a lovely man.
Certainly is. Right, so let's talk to Spencer. Spencer McCarthy, welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Robbed by the iRacing gods, we hear.
Rob, I don't know. It was interesting. So when I joined the practice session tonight, Sam was like, "Have you done a pit stop yet? Have you worked out the cheaty pit entry?" And I'm like, "I'll give it a go." So I kind of went in there, dived in. Yeah, hard right. That seems good. Try that in the race. Yeah, absolutely. And then it was like in the race, it was like I was the first, well, one of the first to pit. Actually, I came out, didn't I? I was like midway down. I saw all the others, and I think, oh, geez, that was a long pit stop. I realised it was doing tyres, and I was kind of going, oh, how many is it doing? Because I'm sure I turned them off at the start of the race. And then it was like there was one left by the time I looked. So I was like, well, I might as well change all 4. And then came out and then looked at the other people, like the pit stop times, and everyone else was like 45 seconds, 46 seconds. I'm like, well, everyone's changed tyres, well, that's fun. And then we're all on the radio saying, Sam, check your tyres when you go in. So, yeah, clearly he didn't change his tyres.
Yeah, and to be honest, there wasn't a great deal of advantage, was there? Obviously, you took 4 tyres. Sam tells us he took 1, because he managed to untick some of them when he realised. But I was sort of hoping. Obviously, we didn't know anything about the little kerfuffle. We thought maybe it was tactical, and we was hoping that you was going to start clawing seconds and second and a half back every lap. But a couple of laps, you took time out of him, and then everything sort of settled down again.
I think being that far behind, you're always possibly going to get a bit more lappery than the car ahead. So you kind of think, well, people might come past you that might not actually get past them. So, for the kind of half seconds and the seconds you get out, you might lose the odd half second from these lappers. There's GT4s coming past. So, yeah, it was a bit of a tall ask. I was keeping an eye on it. I was trying to keep the seconds to the laps remaining. And when I think I went wide at one corner and I lost a second, it was like, well, that's a lap gone. So it was like, I'm never going to do it. That was a shame, but I think it was good. Came out, showed some pretty good pace. I know we're all in the Elantra now, but it's the Elantra Cup. But it's a nice car to drive. Obviously, it suits me quite well. So yeah, it was good.
And I don't think that I know there's lots of cars to choose from, but everybody's chosen one because it's allegedly the fastest car. But even if you turn it into a one-make series like this is turning into, the driver that wins it then does it on talent, not because they've picked the correct car or anything like that. So I think it's going to be interesting. And I think if yourself and Sam don't get the bad luck that you got last season, I was just saying when we interviewed Sam, it's going to be a fascinating watch between you two, because it looks like you've both got 2 totally different driving styles. I always look at it, Sam is a bit more controlled, you're a bit more wild. But ultimately you lap within a tenth of each other, however you're putting it round the track. And I think you're going to be dragging wins off of each other and points off of each other all season. And I think we're going to get another TCR battle that goes right down to round 12.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think about maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago, I think I kind of had an edge on Sam, but definitely, his game's come up a lot in the last couple of years. And you're right, the smoothness he's got is really good. He does kind of put in some consistency. I think I am a bit more Larry. It's interesting actually, because in real life, like a race, everyone says to me that I'm the smoothest driver that people see. Like I'm always hitting the same lines. Yep. I'm not soaring away on the wheel. All this sort of stuff. But in the sim, it's interesting. You say I then look a little bit sort of ragged. It's funny how that translates.
And to be honest, that's not the first time I've heard that about a real life driver that has got himself on iRacing, and they're a totally different beast to what they are on the racetrack in a real car. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Anyway, round 1, everybody wants an interview. They all love the spotlight. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
You guys, great, another season. Looking forward to it. Mixing it up this time with some different leg races. That's going to be some good fun. And just keep doing what you're doing. Well done.
Excellent. Well, thanks as ever for joining us in the booth. Congratulations on your second place, and don't forget to make a note that if we ever come back here, don't do the cheaty pit stop.
In about 3 seasons' time, I would have forgotten.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Spencer, and we'll see you next time out.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Matey.
Okay, so
Crikey.
let's now bring in the only BMW driver in the field, Mr. Wobbly Kneecaps. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
So,
Evening.
Hey,
the question that everybody wants to know is obviously nothing about you. What was the BMW like? Hasn't had any love for a little while. You've decided to drive it. Is it still a pig, or is it getting better?
yeah, if I can't really recall how it actually drove when I first entered the league, but I randomly chose it without even have tried it, and out of the corners it's bloody fast, and in the straight it's amazing. But on this 90-degree corners, and you could actually see it happening the whole time, that every time I took the corner, Simon was coming towards me, and on the exit I was driving away. It felt really stable, and I think, to be fair, it is one of the most fun cars I've driven in like the last 6 months.
Okay, and potential in the BMW for winning the championship, or is that a step too far?
I think that I was going to try something different, and I'm definitely convinced that I can win the championship. I've been up there every time. I'll just had stupid incidents, or at least weird incidents every season. So I'm trying to avoid that. But it started off with a good way by the tires getting resetted, and then I had 4 tires instead of 2 and stuff like that. But especially on the tracks like Watkins Glen next week, I'm convinced that the BMW is going to be the fastest car there. You saw it at the start. I was slower than Simon when I was driving away at the start of the race, and instantly came next to him just because the BMW has so much power. So
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. We see you in a cracking battle at the end there with Stefan Goebel. Stefan did give you a bit of a bump at one point, but quite gentlemanly stopped and let you get going again, which is what we expect and what we're used to in this league. But
it was nothing bad. I just got annoyed, but then I overreacted a bit. But it's just it happens. He saw a gap, he tried it, and it was a stupid move. But good, he waited, and then it was fine. It happens.
It certainly does. And Pete on the chat said that Stefan almost earned himself £5, but you didn't manage to go all the way round. So Stefan's going to have to try harder next time.
I mean, I've been in a couple of incidents with Stefan, and I spoke to him already, and he said, there was nobody behind us, so I just went for it and would have given you the position anyway. So it's all good. I mean, Stefan is a fun guy to race against, and when he thinks there's a gap, he's gonna go for it. There was no gap in this this occasion, but at least he gave it a shot. I can't blame him that.
Well, he tried to make a gap, so he's got to try something. Anyway, mate, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
You guys for setting up the broadcast. Sam is doing cameras. Sam, you did a really good job on cameras. Clyde, Alan, Rob, because he's my only teammate, and please, for the love of God, place us in Team Pink and not in 2 teams. I'm just asking you that, Clyde. And I'm really thrilled that we got another guy. I mean, Dominic did a stunning job. Came in the league, didn't know anything about the tactics, but still managed to get the 2nd place. Congratulations to him as well.
Yeah.
Well, I can confirm you are both in Team Pink. As I did say on the chat the other night, I didn't sort our teams out until the last minute.
I don't read what
just
you
in
say.
case anybody else joins. So yes, you are both in the same team.
Yes.
Yay.
So Wobbly Kneecaps, congratulations on dragging that BMW round to a 3rd place, and we'll see you next time out.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Yeah, good drive, mate.
Thanks.
Okay, so next up, let's bring in Matt Elmore, third place in TCR. Cracking result there, Matt.
Yeah, just about, literally just about. I thought Carl was going to get me.
Just about is good enough.
It was
Yeah,
exciting.
Yeah, well, it felt like my tyres were absolutely gone. I had no pace whatsoever, and all week I've been like a lot faster. Obviously, the temperature was a lot hotter. I wasn't expecting to be anywhere near on the times I was doing, but yeah, no consistency whatsoever. But I'll take it.
Yeah, well, you've got to, mate. It's, podiums are difficult to come by in this series in general, whatever class you're in. So every time you get one, you've got to give yourself a pat on the back. How did you find the race in general, and that tricky little track? I think a lot of the Japanese tracks, I think they like to make them tricky on purpose. But how did you go out there? We didn't see a great deal of you because there was a lot more battles, until we did concentrate on your battle with Carl at the end. But how did the rest of the race go for you?
Boring, hot, sweaty. Yeah, I've run. To be fair, I know it's a different game, but Forza, I did so many laps around it. It's one of my favourite tracks. I think that's why I had a little bit of pace around it. But I tried keeping up with Sam to begin with. I think he got a slow down. Maybe I got past him, and then he stayed behind to save some tyres or save some fuel, just toying with me. But the duel with Carl at the end, I generally thought he was going to get me. I think I took an off track to try and get a little bit of a run out of the corner to try and stay in front, to be fair.
Well, the good thing about a result sheet in any race, real or simulated, is it doesn't show anything like that. It just shows that you finished third, Carl finished fourth. So it is what it is, and a cracking start to the season. What do you think realistically you could do this season? Is there, is challenging Sam and Spencer out of the question? Are you looking to see if you could be the best of the rest? What are your plans?
I actually said this to Russ the other day that I think realistically our aim is to try and get third. I don't think unless Sam and Spencer start tripping over each other or have a few accidents, I don't think Spencer can do all the races, I've been told. So maybe we're going to finish above him. So maybe second, third, something like that. But I haven't quite got the pace to challenge Sam. In the practice lobbies, we were a little bit closer, but he's clearly got the race pace. Massive difference.
Yeah, he does seem to turn it on race day, doesn't he? Well, we'll keep an eye on how you get on. Nobody picked you to win the championship when I asked them at the start of the season, so you won't get any commentator curses. So that's a good thing. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just to my teammates. Obviously, we all sit in there. We all have a bit of a laugh. Obviously, we've been joining up with Carl quite a lot. Even Sam. It helps with the pace. It helps us to know where we can overtake, etc. Obviously, yourselves for hosting.
Excellent. Well, always a pleasure to have you in the booth. Congratulations on your podium finish, Matt Elmore.
Yeah,
Cheers.
well done, Matt.
Cheers.
Okay, who should we go to next? Let's bring in Mr. Jamie Wilson, 6th place finisher in GT4. How was the Porsche and why did you change?
Hello. Why the Porsche? Because, or how was the Porsche? Crap, unless you're on the brake pedal, is what I'm finding out. You need to be braking for the thing to turn because it's basically got polystyrene in the front and all the weight on the back. So, it's taken me a while to get used to that. And as to why, because it's a car we haven't driven yet in this.
Okay, that's a fair comment. Now, I'm just going to say you struggled a bit tonight, but it's always difficult in a new car that you suddenly find, it needs to be driven totally different to what you've been used to. But it was interesting when you were stuck behind Rob Venn. I know how difficult Rob is to pass, and we'd seen it earlier on in the race where Stefan couldn't get past. And then Stephen Walker was back in that battle as well. And then you had a little spin and you was out of the battle, and then you was back in the battle. And for a sixth place finish, you had a lot going on.
Yeah, there's an awful lot going on in that one all the way through, pretty much. It was only a couple of laps around the pit stops that it sort of calmed down a bit. But I got caught out by the pit thing, I'm sure you've discussed. As did, most of the field. And I called it. I was one of the first ones in GT4 to pit, and I was saying to Simon at the time, I'm not going to be the only one that's just been caught out by that. And sure enough, half the field came back towards me, so it worked out all right in the end. But no, I was pretty happy with how I got on with it, to be honest. Not much experience in the car. It does need to be driven quite differently to what we're used to. Simon's taken to it like a duck to water, as he normally does. It's taken me a little bit to get into it, but
annoying git springs to mind.
Yeah, but I think I was faster pace wise than the people I was around. I just couldn't. All the advantage I had in pace was at the points where I couldn't use it. It was all sort of mid corner where I couldn't do anything with it, and then I didn't have the traction. Top speed was okay, but I didn't have the traction to get to alongside or anything. So my tactic was just to be annoying to Rob and just kind of make him make a mistake or something. Ended up just catching myself out a little bit, but no, if I'm in that position, I'm slightly quicker than or around the same pace as Rob Venn and Stephen Walker, obviously TCR champion, then can't really complain with that.
No, most definitely not. And, from what we were seeing, very entertaining. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Simon. I know he's feeling a bit under the weather. He certainly doesn't sound very well at the moment.
I wondered why he was being a miserable git and not talking to us.
Yeah, well, he was just a miserable git anyway, but...
Well, yeah, I suppose so,
especially more so with, his eyes watering, you can't see, so... I said, that's optional. Wobbly drives his eyes closed, he manages it, so it's fine. Yourselves putting it on, and also Simon for picking this track, because it's an excellent track.
Yeah, it is a fun little track. Congratulations on your sixth place, Jamie Wilson.
Cheers, guys.
Well done, Jamie.
Right, Mr. Toon, time for you to step up to the plate and interview your team captain, Mr. Carl Hardy. Welcome to the booth.
Mr. Carl Hardy.
How are we?
Well, I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm very well. That was good race, that one.
Oh, my word. Was it just? You had plenty on there. Fourth place. Chuffed for you.
Yeah, it was close between me and Matt at the end, but no, it was quality.
Oh, what a battle you had!
Yeah, really good.
Well, you had battles all the way through. You did well. You had a battle with David. You had a real humdinger with Matt.
Yeah, and Russ as well.
Yeah,
Russ
amazing.
Well. It was really good.
Well, you're battling with people that aren't familiar with seeing you with battling season after season, and but you seem to be getting further and further towards the front of the grid. It's good. It's doing me a power of good.
Well, it helps that there's less drivers.
Yes, well, that does help. But
that makes
I
me
like to see you go. I like to see you getting fourth. But get on the podium next week. That'd be nice.
Well, I thought I was going to get it when me and Matt were side by side. I thought I was going to get it because I had. I don't know what went on with the tyres, but I unclicked tyres. I didn't want to take any, but then the pit lane's a bit dodgy, so it resets it all. And and then I had 4 tyres on my car, so
you got the 4, did you? Right.
Yeah.
Some people managed to get it off and only had 1 or 2 or we didn't know about that. But we saw some weird stuff happening in the pit.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was going on.
I think it was.
But yeah, you had a really good race. It's a new season, and You're setting off well. It's good to see, matey.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and the whole season looks really good track wise. So
Yeah, no.
good.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great lineup of tracks you've got coming your way, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So keep it up.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Is there anything you want to tell us? Because we've just seen you wearing yourself out racing around this track for our benefit. Thank you very much.
I know. To be honest, Matt is a little bit sweaty, so I've done my job on him and Russ. So I've made them both moist. That's fine.
There's rumour going around that you make blokes sweaty.
Yeah, you know it. And no, it's good. And the drivers are brilliant. You know, I mean, we all get on. We all can have a bit of door banging like me and Matt tonight, and just laugh it off. And that's touring car driving. That's what you do, and enjoy it. And it's brilliant to be that close. You know, and having that right at the end of the race after an hour, and then you end up side by side with another car. What else do you need?
Yeah, no tyres left.
Well, to be fair, because I had 4 tyres.
You had plenty of tyres. Do you get tyres though? I was interested because we were thinking people were going to, take advantage of. We thought all kinds of stuff had happened, but nobody. The gaps were there. Nobody was closing them because of people who got really great tyre stops, and others haven't got really great tyre stops.
It made it interesting, and I knew Matt was struggling, obviously, but I mean the way I was catching him up, and he's been so much quicker than me throughout practice, so he's been flying. So yeah, I knew I had tyres advantage, but I didn't expect to catch him, to be fair. But once I saw that gap at 2 seconds, I knew I could just push that a little bit more.
Well done. No, fantastic. Well, great start to the season.
Yeah,
any
cheers.
shout outs, my dear?
You guys, once again, start of the season, thank you very much. I know all the organising, what goes on behind the scenes and all of that, it takes up loads of time. So, yeah, thank you to you lot and all the drivers. Really well done.
Thank you, my dear.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. Take care, lads.
Night.
Okay, guys. Well, that is our interviews over. Which only leads us to one thing, doesn't it, Alan?
Oh, it does. Yes.
Pressure pot time. So, as we gave you the last pick on who you think who's gonna win the season, it's only fair that we put you on the spot for our driver of the evening. So,
I agree with you. Actually, I do agree with you. You were very kind to me earlier, Ewan. You were, because I wasn't ready for that, and I have to think about it. So, okay. So Dom's going to have that. His first race in the series, and it was great to see him here. And he did a fantastic drive. He did, and he quitted so fantastically well.
Why cannot find Dominic? Oh, there he is. I found him. Right. Okay. So vote for Dominic in GT4 and TCR.
Oh, I'm giving it to Matt.
Oh, okay.
And I know I just don't want to show favouritism. Matt did a really great drive. He did, and good on him. It was fantastic watching him battling the car.
Excellent. So good choices from Alan and Sam. Your GT4 driver of the evening, please.
I'm gonna pick Stefan, and not because he almost put Wobbly out.
But that's the real reason.
We can't say it on the broadcast, but yes.
Okay. And your TCR driver of the evening?
I'm gonna pick the smartest one, Sam Blees.
Yeah,
thanks to all of the others telling him to make sure he's got stayers unticked.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. GT4. I'm gonna have to agree with Alan. For first time out in the series,
I knew that Dom was a good driver, but it is always daunting when you join a well-established league. And I thought that was an absolutely fantastic drive from him, and I also expect him to get better as the season goes on. I had a feeling that nobody was going to pick Sam Blease, and he was going to be my pick. And not because he won the race, but purely on the fact of what Sam just said. He was the only one that seemed switched on enough to go, hang on, what's going on with my tyres? And managed to get 3 of them unticked. And then drive the race with 1 brand new tyre, which must have been absolutely awful. I've been in that situation where you've got in the pits and something's going on that you don't understand, but my brain doesn't work quick enough to sort it out. But Sam gave him that sympathy vote, so I find myself in a weird situation where I'm going to agree with Alan twice in the same night, let alone the same season.
Goodness me.
For his 3rd place finish, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. My vote's going to go to Matt Elmore. So absolutely fantastic. Well done to everybody. That is round 1 over. Little bit of breaking news. Just let me have a cough. And let me get the sound machine. And let me find this. The breaking news that Sam has just sent me is thanks to everybody tonight. Backfire Simsport TV has just passed 60,000 views. Absolutely unbelievable that 60,000 people, 59,000 of them might be the same person, but have took the time to come and see what we do. We really, really appreciate that. And I'm sure having Sir Alan Toon on board has got a great deal to do with that.
Oh, six of them.
Anyway, coming up in the next 7 days on Backfire Simsport TV, on Sunday, it's back. It's the 3rd instalment of the Poopcast with myself and Pete. Usual format. We will be talking about all of our BSTV leagues, what's going on, what we like, what we don't like, who's doing well, who's not doing well. We've got Garage 101, where we try to get rid of something from the motor racing world that annoys everybody. And we also, back again, we have iRacing Wags. We thoroughly enjoyed having Stacey Woodward on last time. So we've got another one lined up for you. And this time, let's see if we can get some proper dirt on their other half. And then next Wednesday, we are back with round 2 of this series from one of my favourite tracks. I know it's not always a driver's favourite, but I love it. It's Watkins Glen. So really looking forward to that. As usual, big thanks to all the drivers for putting on the show. Big thanks to everybody that joined in on the chat. We really enjoy your comments. Make sure you drop this video a like. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, and make sure you follow us on Facebook. That way you will never miss any of our action. And you can join the 60,000 weirdos that are out there that have actually watched us do this. It's time for us to close the broadcast, so I shall say goodnight to everybody. Let Alan and then Sam say goodnight, and we shall disappear for the evening. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe, and good night.
Good night, my dears, and thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
And good night, everybody. See you next time.